The film tells the story of a woman named Amy Loughran, who works as a nurse at Parkfield Memorial in New Jersey, United States. One day, Amy is called in by her supervisor because she frequently allows a patient's family member to stay overnight, even though this is against hospital rules. At the same time, the hospital is experiencing a shortage of night shift staff, prompting them to hire someone new with sufficient experience. After her meeting with her supervisor, Amy returns to her duties, which include caring for a comatose patient named Holly. Because Amy is alone while turning Holly's body to prevent bed sores, she begins to feel severe pain in her own heart and has to pause to recover. Later, after her shift ends, Amy visits her regular doctor and learns she has cardiomyopathy, a condition where the heart cannot pump blood effectively. If she continues working without rest, Amy could develop coronary heart disease within just a few months. The doctor advises her to focus on preserving her heart function as long as possible, so she can eventually be placed on the transplant list. She is also warned of the high risk of a possible stroke. This news leaves her feeling understandably distressed, but Amy cannot afford to stop working because she must support her 2 children at home. Taking extended leave would mean no salary, and she has neither savings nor valid health insurance yet. That same night, Amy goes back to work and meets a newly arrived colleague, Charles Cullen, who goes by Charlie. Amy shows Charlie around, introducing him to the medication storage areas and other essential parts of the hospital. She also brings him to check on a patient named Anna Martinez, who is suffering from a severe allergic reaction to amoxicillin that has caused her skin to peel. Amy explains this case while introducing Charlie to the patient and her family. Amy and Charlie quickly form a friendship. Charlie eagerly assists Amy with her duties, particularly helping her care for Holly. Moving and repositioning Holly repeatedly has been straining Amy's heart, often causing her chest pains. Thankfully, Charlie's calm demeanor helps ease Amy's stress. Feeling she can trust him, Amy confides in Charlie about her cardiomyopathy, but insists he keep it secret so she won't lose her job. Amy has 4 months to go before she qualifies for the hospital's health insurance, and Charlie agrees to help her until then. Soon after, Amy arrives at work and learns that Anna Martinez has unexpectedly passed away. Amy is shocked by the suddenness of Anna's death. While waiting for Anna's husband to arrive at the hospital, Amy and Charlie prepare the body. Charlie cleans it, and Amy offers condolences and explanations to Mr. Martinez. 7 weeks later, 2 detectives, Detective Braun and Detective Baldwin, are summoned by the hospital's administrator, Linda Guerin, to perform an internal investigation into Anna Martinez's death, officially classified as an unexplained incident. A medical expert had raised suspicions of a highly unusual adverse reaction to medication, but no conclusive proof of wrongdoing was discovered. Complicating matters, Anna's body has already been cremated, leaving little evidence for further inquiry. The 2 detectives plan to interview all staff members who worked with Anna. Back at the police station, Detective Baldwin reviews the background checks on the nurses and notices that Charlie Cullen had a criminal record from Pennsylvania 8 years earlier. Detective Braun verifies this information and finds that Charlie was arrested back then for a domestic dispute with his girlfriend, seemingly nothing more. Despite this, Baldwin remains uneasy about Parkfield Memorial and suspects something may be amiss. One evening, Linda Guerin assembles the hospital staff for a briefing on the upcoming interviews. Linda also intends to observe the questioning of her employees, which frustrates Braun and Baldwin, though they have little choice but to comply. During Amy's interview, Linda is called out of the room by her assistant, and Detective Baldwin uses this opportunity to speak more freely. Baldwin shows Amy irregularities in Anna Martinez's lab results. Anna's glucose levels were abnormally high, and a missing C-peptide test suggests that insulin found in her system was not produced by her own body. Moreover, Anna was not diabetic. All signs point to the possibility that insulin was introduced externally. When Linda returns, the detectives change the subject to ask about Charlie Cullen. Amy defends Charlie as a capable and experienced nurse and insists he would never commit a fatal error. Baldwin and Braun then request the results of Linda's internal investigation, and Linda promises to deliver them the following day. Work continues as usual for Amy, but her heart condition begins to affect her more severely. During one code situation, she has difficulty performing CPR and grows fatigued. Charlie helps cover for her. He even drives Amy to her cardiology appointments, concerned about her well-being. Charlie urges her to inform her children of her condition. Amy needs to hold on at least 2 more months until her insurance kicks in. At home, Amy sits down with her daughter Alex and explains her heart problem, following Charlie's advice to prepare her family in case of an emergency. Detectives Braun and Baldwin finally receive Linda's so-called internal investigation files. Much to their dismay, they only receive a thin folder instead of the comprehensive documentation they expected from a 7-week probe. Frustrated, Baldwin confronts Linda, demanding she hand over all withheld evidence and accusing her of protecting the hospital's reputation at the expense of the investigation. Because of Baldwin's strong-arm tactics, his superior reprimands him and bars him from setting foot in the hospital. The case hits a dead end. Ana Martinez's body has been cremated, so there is no way to perform an autopsy, and the limited paperwork they do have seems incomplete or unhelpful. Soon, Amy is assigned a new patient, Kelly, a recently injured mother of a newborn baby named Vanessa. Kelly appears alert and even jokes with Amy about her daughter. However, the very next night, Amy notices that Kelly behaves strangely. She does not respond to instructions and inexplicably forgets Vanessa's name. Alarmed, Amy calls Kelly's husband, Tom, right before Kelly starts seizing. Kelly dies that same night, and Tom arrives in grief, clutching baby Vanessa in his arms. The next morning, detectives Braun and Baldwin visit Amy at home, expecting them to ask about Kelly's death. She is surprised that they instead request her help with the Ana Martinez case. They have also discovered Kelly's suspicious death, and now fear there is a killer on the loose. Again, they ask whether Amy knows anything about Charlie Cullen's past. Hospital after hospital refuses to discuss him, and yet he always seems to have been present when unexplainable patient deaths occurred. Amy admits she knows of no wrongdoing on Charlie's part. However, the detectives point out that Kelly's autopsy reveals unaccounted-for insulin, making them suspect a second victim. Needing clarity, Amy meets up with a friend named Lori, another nurse, who once worked alongside Charlie. Lori reveals rumors that Charlie may have caused patient overdoses in the past, with insulin found in IV bags, and that he would sometimes inject medication before hanging the bags for patients. Lori emphasizes it was only ever whispered speculation. Yet whenever Charlie worked, death rates soared, only to drop significantly once he was gone. This revelation hits Amy hard. She rushes to inspect the IV supply room at Parkfield Memorial and discovers a bag with a puncture the size of a needle. Overcome with shock and exhaustion, she collapses and is rushed to the ER, where she awakens to see Charlie standing watch over her. In that moment, Amy becomes certain Charlie is responsible for Ana Martinez's and Kelly's deaths. Amy shares her suspicions with detectives Braun and Baldwin. She explains how Charlie contaminates IV bags with insulin, or possibly digoxin, both of which are colorless and can kill over many hours as they infuse slowly. This method allows him to harm patients without direct contact at the time of death. Hoping to find proof, Amy volunteers to examine Charlie's medication withdrawal logs to see if he accessed insulin before Anna's and Kelly's deaths. Unfortunately, they still need a body to autopsy for more conclusive evidence, so they meet with Kelly's husband, Tom, who agrees to let the authorities exhume Kelly's remains in search of answers. Now, every one of Amy's night shifts is fraught with tension. She discreetly replaces any IV bags Charlie hangs for her patients just in case. She also prints out his medication records on the sly, hoping to catch him red-handed. After Kelly's autopsy, insulin and digoxin traces are discovered in her tissue, dated to the 15th. Amy provides records showing Charlie accessed insulin and digoxin on the 14th. However, Charlie's practice of repeatedly canceling medication orders in the system exploits a software bug. The drug drawer still opens after a last-second cancellation, meaning the log shows no confirmed medication removal. Dozens of these cancellation entries exist since the time he started. Amy suggests that Linda Guerin, a former nurse, must be fully aware of this glitch. Ultimately, Linda and her attorney summon Charlie to a meeting. They dismiss him on a technicality, citing allegedly false information on his employment history. Privately, Linda simply wants to shield Parkfield Memorial from responsibility. Detectives Braun and Baldwin are dismayed, knowing Charlie will land another job and the cycle will repeat. A few days later, Amy returns home to find Charlie there playing with her children. Alarmed at having a suspected murderer so close to her family, she grows uneasy. Charlie sadly tells her he has been fired, just when he was so close to helping Amy get through to her health insurance date. He even offers to babysit the children while Amy works, but she carefully declines. Desperate to end his rampage, the detectives enlist Amy's help. Their plan is for Amy to meet with Charlie and gently prompt him into a confession they can record. During lunch at a local diner, Charlie announces he has already secured a new job at Elmsworth Hospital in Pennsylvania. Amy struggles to steer the conversation toward his suspicious activities at Parkfield. She mentions rumors circulating about him, indicating that even if they are true, she still values their friendship. Charlie becomes visibly distressed and changes the subject, eventually leaving to ensure he isn't late on his first day. Detective Braun then proposes placing Charlie under arrest, so they can at least detain him for 48 hours. On his way, Charlie is apprehended by police officers and taken in for questioning. Detective Baldwin goes straight to the point, asking how many IV bags Charlie tampered with at Parkfield Memorial. He specifically demands information on Anna Martinez and Kelly's deaths. Charlie refuses to talk and only weeps when cornered. As Detective Braun shouts at him, he keeps repeating, I can't, giving them no usable testimony.
I can't!
With no new evidence or confession, Baldwin tells Amy that they must release Charlie the next morning. Fearing for her own safety and her children's future, Amy bravely goes to see Charlie in the interrogation room. She plays the role of a concerned friend, reminding him how kind and supportive he has always been, how he once covered for her so her illness would remain hidden from their supervisors. Amy admits she can't possibly understand his actions, but in her heart she still believes there must be good in him. Moved by her genuine plea, Charlie finally names specific victims he remembers, including Anna Martinez and Kelly. To avoid the death penalty, Charles Cullen admits to killing 29 people. In reality, the confirmed figure is believed to be around 400, though he never explains his motivation. He is currently serving 18 consecutive life sentences and will not be eligible for parole until the year 2403. Over 16 years as a nurse, numerous hospitals had suspicions about him, yet none halted his acts or pursued criminal charges. Meanwhile, Amy undergoes the heart surgery she urgently needed and now lives in Florida with her children and grandchildren. She is hailed as a hero for helping to stop the most prolific serial killer in U.S. medical history, earning her the moniker The Good Nurse. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.